Florida Power and Light is investigating electrical problems and potential fire hazards in homes located in Punta Gorda, Florida. This investigation was initiated following a fire on Christmas Day. The primary concern involves the underground connection boxes that supply electrical power to homes in the area. These connection boxes link the power lines from the power poles to the home's electrical systems. The investigation aims to determine the extent of the problem and implement corrective actions. One of the key concerns is the potential for ground wires within these connection boxes to become charged. This can create a significant fire hazard, even when the power to the house is turned off at the breaker box. The City Council has been informed of these issues, and residents have also reported experiencing electrical problems, including electrical shocks and overheating of electrical components. Florida Power and Light plans to test a sample of 100 of the 2,700 similar connections throughout the city. This testing will involve visual inspections and infrared testing to detect any hot spots or other signs of potential problems. The results of this testing will help Florida Power and Light determine if there is a systemic problem affecting a larger portion of the homes in Punta Gorda. If defects are found during the testing, Florida Power and Light has stated that they are prepared to take corrective action to address the problems and ensure the safety of the residents. It's important to note that homes with electrical connections that run directly from power poles to the houses are not affected by these issues, nor are homes that are powered by completely underground electrical systems. During a City Council meeting, there was discussion about the potential dangers of charged ground wires. The fact that electricity can still flow into a house even when the power is shut off at the breaker box raised concerns among the council members. The City Council has directed the fire chief to find an electrical consultant. The consultant will provide advice to residents on how to better protect their homes from electrical hazards. Residents who have experienced electrical problems with their connection boxes are encouraged to contact the city manager to report their concerns. A resident whose mother's home caught fire expressed concerns about the possibility of a faulty ground wire. They also mentioned that their sister received an electrical shock when she touched the pool cage at the home on the day of the fire. The resident emphasized the importance of addressing these electrical issues to prevent future incidents and ensure the safety of residents. In addition to the power company's investigation, fire officials will also review the fire department's response to the fire. This review will help identify any areas where the response could be improved in the future. The investigation by Florida Power and Light will focus on identifying any defects in the connection boxes and determining the cause of the electrical problems. The corrective actions will be based on the findings of the investigation and will aim to prevent future fires and electrical hazards. Electrical systems should be properly grounded. Grounding provides a path for stray electrical current to flow safely to the ground, reducing the risk of electrical shock and fire. The grounding system typically consists of a grounding electrode, such as a ground rod or a metal water pipe, connected to the electrical panel. Grounding wires are connected to the grounding electrode and to various electrical components throughout the house. Grounding helps to stabilize voltage levels in the electrical system, preventing voltage fluctuations that can damage appliances and equipment. Ungrounded electrical systems can also cause interference with electronic devices, such as computers and televisions. Grounding can prevent the buildup of static electricity, which can damage sensitive electronic components. It is important to have a qualified electrician inspect the grounding system regularly to ensure that it is functioning properly. If you suspect that there is a problem with the grounding system, such as frequent electrical shocks or flickering lights, you should contact an electrician immediately. The electrical panel, also known as the breaker box, is the main distribution point for electricity in a home. The electrical panel contains circuit breakers that protect individual circuits from overloads and short circuits. Circuit breakers are designed to trip or shut off when the current in a circuit exceeds the rated capacity of the breaker. This prevents the wires in the circuit from overheating and causing a fire. It is important to know the location of the electrical panel in your home and how to turn off the main breaker in case of an emergency. You should also label each circuit breaker so that you can easily identify which circuit it controls. Never overload a circuit by plugging too many appliances into the same outlet. Overloading a circuit can cause the circuit breaker to trip or, in extreme cases, can start a fire. If you frequently trip circuit breakers, you should have a qualified electrician inspect your electrical system to determine the cause of the problem. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, is a set of standards for the safe installation of electrical wiring and equipment. The NEC is updated every 3 years, and it is important to be familiar with the latest version of the code. The NEC covers a wide range of topics, including wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and appliance installation. Local jurisdictions may adopt the NEC as their electrical code, or they may modify it to meet local needs. When performing electrical work, it is important to follow the requirements of the NEC to ensure safety. If you are not qualified to perform electrical work, you should hire a licensed electrician. Electrical shock can occur when a person comes into contact with an energized electrical conductor. Electrical shock can cause a range of injuries, from minor burns to cardiac arrest. The severity of an electrical shock depends on the voltage of the electricity, the amount of current flowing through the body, and the duration of the shock. To prevent electrical shock, you should always assume that electrical wires are energized. Never touch electrical wires or equipment with wet hands. Use insulated tools when working on electrical equipment. Wear rubber gloves and shoes when working in damp or wet areas. If you experience an electrical shock, you should seek medical attention immediately. Arc flash is a dangerous phenomenon that can occur when a high-voltage electrical fault creates an arc of electricity in the air. Arc flash can produce extremely high temperatures, intense light, and a pressure wave that can cause serious injuries or death. Arc flash is a serious hazard for electricians and other workers who work on or near energized electrical equipment. To prevent arc flash, you should always energize electrical equipment before working on it. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as arc-rated clothing, gloves, and face shields. Follow safe work practices, such as maintaining a safe distance from energized equipment. Surge protection devices, or SPDs, protect electrical equipment from voltage surges, which are sudden increases in voltage that can damage sensitive electronic components. Voltage surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or switching of electrical equipment. SPD work by diverting excess voltage away from the protected equipment. SPD are available in a variety of types, including whole-house surge protectors and point-of-use surge protectors. Whole-house surge protectors are installed at the electrical panel and protect all of the electrical equipment in the house. Point-of-use surge protectors are plugged into outlets and protect individual appliances or electronic devices. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are life-saving devices that protect people from electrical shock. GFCIs monitor the current flowing in a circuit then compare it to the current returning to the circuit. If there is a difference of more than a few milliamperes, the GFCI will trip and shut off the power to the circuit. GFCIs are required in areas where there is a high risk of electrical shock, such as bathrooms, kitchens, and outdoor outlets. GFCIs should be tested monthly to ensure that they are functioning properly. To test a GFCI, press the test button on the GFCI outlet. The GFCI should trip and shut off the power to the outlet. Then press the reset button to restore power to the outlet. Aluminum wiring was used in many homes built in the 1960s and 1970s. Aluminum wiring is more likely to corrode and overheat than copper wiring. If you have aluminum wiring in your home, you should have it inspected by a qualified electrician. The electrician can assess the condition of the wiring and recommend any necessary repairs or replacements. Common problems with aluminum wiring include loose connections, corroded terminals, and overheating. If you notice any of these problems, you should contact an electrician immediately. There are several methods for repairing or replacing aluminum wiring. One method is to install copper pigtails, which are short lengths of copper wire that are connected to the aluminum wiring using special connectors. Another method is to replace the aluminum wiring with copper wiring. Extension cords should only be used for temporary purposes. Never use extension cords as a substitute for permanent wiring. Extension cords can overheat and cause a fire if they are overloaded or used improperly. When using an extension cord, make sure that it is the correct gauge for the appliance or equipment that you are using. Do not run extension cords under rugs or carpets, where they can be damaged. Unplug extension cords when they are not in use. Electrical safety is important. Be aware of the hazards and follow the safety guidelines. If you are unsure about how to perform an electrical task, consult a qualified electrician. Regular electrical inspections can help to identify potential problems before they become serious hazards. Electrical inspections should be performed by a qualified electrician. The electrician will inspect the wiring, grounding, of a current protection, and other electrical components to ensure that they are in good condition. The electrician will also identify any potential hazards and recommend any necessary repairs or replacements. The cost of an electrical inspection varies depending on the size and complexity of the electrical system. However, the cost of an inspection is typically much less than the cost of repairing or replacing damaged electrical equipment. The information provided is not a substitute for professional electrical advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician for any electrical work or concern. Electrical safety is a shared responsibility. By following the safety guidelines and taking precautions, we can all help to prevent electrical accidents and injuries. Always ensure power is disconnected prior to undertaking any electrical work. Use appropriate personal protective equipment and insulated tools. Do not work alone, if possible, and inform someone of your intention to work on electrical equipment. Have a fire extinguisher nearby and know how to use it. In the event of an electrical emergency, call 911 or your local emergency number immediately. Provide the dispatcher with your location and the nature of the emergency. Do not attempt to rescue someone who is in contact with electricity without first disconnecting the power. Use a non-conductive object, such as a wooden broom handle, to separate the person from the source of electricity. Once the person is free from the source of electricity, check for signs of breathing and pulse. If the person is not breathing, start CPR. If the person has a pulse but is not breathing, provide rescue breathing. Continue CPR or rescue breathing until help arrives. It is important to take electrical safety seriously and to be prepared for electrical emergencies. By following the safety guidelines and knowing what to do in an emergency, you can help to prevent electrical accidents and injuries. Remember, when in doubt, consult with a qualified electrician. They can provide you with expert advice and assistance with any electrical work or concerns you may have. Safety is paramount when dealing with electricity, so never take risks or attempt to perform electrical tasks that you are not qualified to do. Firstly, always turn off the power at the breaker before you do anything. Secondly, test the circuit to make sure it is off. Thirdly, use the right tools for the job, with insulated handles.